Hey guys, thanks for joining me on this project. I am going to be refinishing this table. As you can see, it's in pretty rough shape. I think it looks worse than it actually was. That top, I don't know what was going on with it, but we do have working drawers, so that's a good sign. I think I'm going to line them. The edges are pretty beat up. I'm not too concerned about that because I'm going to be using a darker color, and I feel like darker colors are a little more forgiving. Some of these bigger nicks I might fill with some wood fill, but overall I think we're in pretty good shape, and I have a plan for the top, so stay tuned for that. We're going to first remove our drawers, and we're going to go in and fill any of those bigger nicks that I saw earlier. I'm using wood fill that's called plastic wood, I think, and it's in the color walnut. I don't think color really matters in this particular case because I'm going to be painting it anyway, but I'm just going around and finding just a couple things that were a little bothersome, and supervisors are making sure I'm doing a good job. While the wood fill dries, I'm going to go ahead and remove our hardware and get my drawers prepped for the next steps. One of the drawers was already kind of falling apart, but that's okay because I'm going to line the drawers, and I think that that was easier having one of them out already. And then I wipe down the inside of the drawers because I'm going to be putting contact paper on it, and I wanted it to stick and not stick to dust. So once I cut my contact paper to size, I'm going to go ahead and stick it on there, smooth it out. Don't do what I did. I peeled off the entire back and then tried to stick it on, and that made it really, really difficult. On the second one, I had learned from that mistake and left the backer on while I was working with it, and that was much easier to work with. Here I'm just trimming down my edges and then wrapping them around the edges for a little bit of support, making sure everything is sticking really good so nothing like comes up on me. This was my first time lining a drawer this way. I feel like the other times I'm usually cutting it to size and placing it in the drawer as the drawer is already like put together, but I actually found it was kind of easier having the base of the drawer out like this. So here I'm doing it the correct way, which is to leave the back on, and I don't know, it just works a lot better that way. And peel it off as you go, smooth it out down as you go. Supervisors checking in, making sure everything's good. And then I'm going to do the same on this one and trim around my edges after I make sure everything is pretty smooth. Get out any air bubbles. Pushing things down. I'm using my nail to kind of go over everything. And then to get those back in, I actually had to take apart the drawer just a little bit to place them back in. And then I'm going to go ahead and scuff sand and sand down my wood fill. The paint that I'm using doesn't require that you sand, but I don't know, wanted better adhesion, so I decided to scuff sand, which just means that I am doing a very light sand on it so the paint has something to kind of hold on to. And then I'm going to go in with my Dixie Belle White Lightning cleaner that I put in a spray bottle and add some water, and then I wipe everything down with the cleaner. And then I also re-wipe everything with just clean water. I don't know if I show that, but this table had grooves on the side of it that I had to get into, like every single groove. Supervisor's checking my cleaning job. All right, we're ready for paint. So I am going to be using Dixie Belle Silk Mineral Paint. And that's like an all-in-one paint. It's got a base coat, the color coat, and the top coat all included. And I'm using my favorite Zibra brushes today. I pulled the round one, and I have this kind of like angled one. I actually ended up using the round one for the whole project. But this paint requires like minimal prep, and I love that I don't have to do a top coat. You do have to do 2 coats, but I was totally okay with that. It dries really quickly, and I don't know, I just really like this paint. So my round brush is great for these like teeny tiny little edges, and like I said, on the side of the table it has these I don't know, weird kind of curves. I don't even know if I show it in here, but I thought the round brush would be easiest for that, and then it just ended up being easiest for the entire thing. So for the top of this table, I do plan on putting that same contact paper in the middle where the table looked pretty rough. So I did do 1 coat of the blue on the middle of the table. Did I tell you the name of the color? It's called Deep Sea, if I didn't. And then it had these like metal, I don't know, metal brackets at the bottom. And at first, on the first coat, I just kind of wiped off if I got paint on it, but by the second coat, I just decided to tape them off. But so yeah, first coat goes on, and it already looks really cool. Supervisor's making sure I'm doing a good job. And this paint really levels out on its own. It's like self-leveling, and I don't know, I just can't say enough good things about it. I feel like a little bit goes a long way. I've had this can for a really long time. I've done a dresser with it. I've done a bench with it, and now I'm doing this table with it. And then I really also like this Zibra round brush, and it's synthetic, it's easy to clean, and easy to work with, easy to hold. Just love it. Okay, so that's coat 1, and we're going to come in here for coat 2. You don't sand in between coats unless there's like some weird reason that you want to or need to, like you found a hair on there that you sanded out or something, but really, second coat just goes right on. And in this case, 2 coats was all that this piece needed. So I start with the drawers, and I make sure I get my edges really good and smooth everything out. I want to say that I let it dry like 2 hours in between coats. And again, no top coat. So like you can't beat it. This entire project took me, I mean, working time, like under 2 hours, but I did it within like, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours. So second coat is going on the top, but not on the middle, because I'm going to just cover that with the contact paper. So the middle of the top is not getting a second coat of paint. But there I was working on the edges that have those little ridges like I was talking about, and that took like the longest time. The back, I was debating about the back. I'm like, do I even paint the back? But yeah, I guess I should. So I did, and did end up doing 2 coats on the back too. I think you could tell too that when the paint was wet, it looked a lot lighter and brighter, and it deepened up and got darker as it dried. It's like a really deep navy blue with like black undertones. It's really, I'm obsessed with this color. I'm surprised supervisor's not around making sure that I'm doing an okay job on the second coat, but they must have been so tired that they went to take a nap. Oh, and the big white box behind this table is a bathtub, so another open project. But that's for another video. So after the second coat started drying, I did put my hardware back on. Like I said, it dries pretty fast. And it's this beautiful like satin finish. It's smooth to the touch. This is the original hardware. I liked it. I didn't see any reason to replace it. They were in good shape, so they stayed. And now on to the contact paper on the top. So this was a real pain, just because it was such like a big space to work with. It took me a lot of lifting and reapplying and readjusting and moving, and this might have taken me the longest out of anything else to do with this table. But it was so worth it because it looks really, really good. All I can say is breathe when something like this gets frustrating, and in my case, I had more in case I messed it up, so I wasn't worried about like if I mess this piece up or whatever. I had plenty of it. I just knew I measured correctly and just needed to get it on there. I had a piece of cardboard nearby to use as a smoother outer to smooth it out. And eventually the whole thing got smoothed out and looked perfect, covered up all the top imperfections, and matches the inside of the drawers, which is cool. You could do this with a credit card. I don't know, just anything flat and skinny. Getting out all the air bubbles, and there she is, all finished. Look at that smooth texture. I can't say enough good things about this paint. Love, love, love this paint. Love the faux wood look. Love the line drawers. Everything looks super good. I'm excited for it to go to its new home. Love, love, love. And just a reminder, I think I show you a before picture in case we forgot how beat up this thing was looking. I love that blue. There it is. It was so beat. Oh, it looks like a new piece of furniture. And our supervisor asks you to like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for being here. See you on the next one.